got something in my eye there. Anyways, hi. Sorry. That was weird. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back. My name is Prescott. I'm here at PsychSync, Sync Psychology, and today we're going to be continuing where we left off in Chapter 14, Stress, Lifestyle, and Health, from the online Psychology 2E OpenStax textbook. Last time we talked about what exactly is stress, cognitive appraisals, prevalence of stress, if there's good stress, turns out there is, eugenics, or eustress. I was thinking eugenics. And then, we went across stress among demographic groups, fight or flight response, all this interesting stuff. If you guys want to hear more about it in a previous video, if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend you do. But anyways, last time we left off here at stressors, which include traumatic events, life changes, hassles, and other stressors. So we are going to start off here with stressors. So there are chronic stressors, which are events that persist over an extended period of time. For example, long-term unemployment, that's a chronic stressor. And then you have acute stressors, so brief events that sometimes continue to be experienced as overwhelming well after the event has ended. So, example, falling and breaking a leg. You'd still be stressed about that. Now, traumatic events, or one category of stressors are let me start that over. Traumatic events. One category of stressors are traumatic events, situations involving exposure to actual or threatened death or serious injury, for example, exposure to military combat, threatened/actual physical assaults, physical attacks, sexual assault, childhood abuse, robbery, etc., terrorist attacks, natural disasters, and car accidents. Stressors of this type can cause people to develop post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. Chronic stress reaction, including intrusive and painful memories, jumpiness, and persistent negative emotional states, among other symptoms. So life changes. Some fairly typical life events, such as moving, can be significant stressors. Even when the move is intentional and positive, the amount of resulting change in daily life can cause stress. So Holmes and Rahe, 1960s, hypothesized that life events requiring significant change are stressful, whether they are desirable or undesirable. So, Social Readjustment Rating Scale, or the SRRS, is a scale consisting of 43 life events that require varying degrees of personal readjustment. So, developed by asking 394 participants to provide a numerical estimate corresponding to how much readjustment they felt each event would require. Now, each life event has a score/life change unit, or LCU, from 11 to 100, representing the perceived magnitude of life change they involved. Death of a spouse was ranked highest at 100, and divorce was ranked second highest at 73. Now, research demonstrates that accumulating a high number of LCUs, or score/life change unit, within a brief time period is related to a range of physical illnesses/symptoms and mental health problems, and it is used to assess amount of stress in people's lives. So hassles, daily hassles are minor irritations and annoyances that are part of our everyday lives, often lead to negative and distressed mood states, can build up and leave us feeling stressed, and the frequency of daily hassles is a better predictor of physical and psychological health than life change units. So example, daily commutes, whether A, on the road, you see really bad traffic, or B, via public transportation, you see a crowded bus, can be hassles that contribute to our feelings of everyday stress. Now, other stressors, there's high-stress occupations, so difficult, demanding, or unsafe working conditions, occupations containing unpleasant elements, so exposure to loud noise, harassment, threats of physical violence, or constant frustration. Job strain is a work situation that combines excessive job demands and workload with little discretion in decision-making or job control. This is associated with increased risk of physical problems. Our job burnout is a general sense of emotional exhaustion and cynicism in relation to one's job. It occurs frequently among people in human service jobs, so example, social workers, teachers, and police officers. Close relationships with friends and family can be a source of stress. We all know they're not always a good thing. Negative aspects that can cause stress include adverse exchanges and conflicts, lack of emotional support or confiding, and lack of reciprocity. Next, we have stress and illness, so psychophysiological disorders, stress in the immune system, cardiovascular disorders, personality types, depression in the heart, asthma, and tension headaches. So, that's a tongue twister almost. Psychophysiological disorders are chronic stress and its sustained physiological reactions can lead to wear and tear on the body. Sustained high blood pressure can lead to a heart attack or heart failure. Continuous exposure to cortisol can weaken the immune system, putting a person at risk for infection or disease. Now, psychophysiological disorders are physical disorders / diseases whose symptoms are brought about or worsened by stress and emotional factors. Common examples include tension, headaches, asthma, acne, eczema, hypertension, irritable bowel syndrome, and coronary heart disease. So none of those are good. Now, stress in the immune system. Immune system errors. So there's autoimmune disease, which immune system mistakes the body's own healthy cells for invaders and repeatedly attacks them and can affect almost any part of the body. There's immunosuppression, the decreased effectiveness of the immune system, so it causes people to become susceptible to infections, illness, and disease. Then there's stressors and immune function, which is psychoneuroimmunology, is a field that studies how psychological factors influence the immune system and immune functioning. Studies have shown that the immune system can be classically conditioned, leading to the idea that if classical conditioning can alter immunity, then so can other psychological factors. Now, many kinds of stressors are associated with poor / weakened immune functioning. So here's a question: how does stress weaken the immune system? So one way that the immune system is weakened is through the hormones released during stress. These hormones inhibit the production of lymphocytes, or white blood cells, important in the immune response, because white blood cells fight off illness, basically, in your body. Now, a study on stress and immune function by Cohen in 1998. So 276 healthy volunteers were interviewed about recent stressful experiences. After the interview, they were given nasal drops containing the cold virus. This graph shows the percentages of participants who developed colds after receiving the cold virus, after reporting having experienced chronic stressors lasting at least 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months. So this is adopted from Cohen et al. 1998. Now, participants who reported experiencing chronic stressors for more than 1 month were more likely to develop colds than those who reported no chronic stressors. So here we can have greater than 1 month, greater than 3 months, greater than 6 months, duration of chronic stressor. Blue is no chronic stressor, red is chronic stressor, and then the percentage of people with colds. So we can see those with chronic stressors were much more likely to develop cold. Now, stress and aging. Research suggests that stress can shorten telomeres, or segments of DNA that protect the ends of chromosomes. Shortened telomeres can inhibit / block cell division, which includes growth and proliferation of new cells, leading to more rapid aging. This graph shows that telomeres are shorter in adults who experienced more trauma as children, adapted from Blackburn and Eaple 2012. So here you can see the numbers of adversities experienced and the telomere length. So no adversities, higher telomere, and the more you got, the lower it was. Next, we have cardiovascular disorders. So the cardiovascular system plays a central role in the stress response, making it a key focus in studies of psychophysiological disorders. Now, heart disease is a cardiovascular disorder, and is a major risk factor for heart disease is hypertension. Now, hypertension is high blood pressure and can be caused by stressors including job strain, marital conflict, and natural disasters. It forces the heart to pump harder, thus putting increased physical strain on the heart. Has no symptoms and can lead to a heart attack, stroke, or heart failure, as well as kidney failure and blindness. Now, both heart disease and hypertension have been linked to negative affectivity. So negative affectivity is the tendency to experience distressed emotional states involving anger, contempt, disgust, guilt, fear, and nervousness. Those are not good things to have. So, heart attack symptoms. So, for males, lightheadedness, perspiration, chest pain and pressure, stomach pain, and shortness of breath. Females, dizziness, anxiety, back and neck pain, shortness of breath, nausea, and vomiting. So, yeah, if you have these symptoms, whether you're male or female, might want to make sure you're not having a heart attack, I guess. Anyways, type A and B personalities, we have Friedman and Rosenman, 1974, discovered that people who are prone to heart disease tend to think, feel, and act differently than those who are not. Found that heart disease is over 7 times more frequent among type A's, when type A tend to be extremely competitive, intensely driven, impatient, rushed, and hostile towards others, whereas type B tend to be relaxed and laid back. Now, further research suggested that one of the most important factors in the development of heart disease is the anger / hostility dimension of type A behavior pattern. Individuals that indicated they responded to pressure with anger were over 6 times more likely than those who indicated less anger who have had a heart attack by age 55. So here we have type A personality, constantly stressed out, and then type B, he's chilling, he's having a good time. So, the transactional model of hostility for predicting social interactions. That is a lengthy title. So, anger and hostility appear to constitute long-term risk factors for adverse cardiovascular outcomes. Why? according to the transactional model of hostility for predicting social interactions, fellow et al., 2012, the thoughts and feelings of a hostile person promote antagonistic behavior towards others, which in turn reinforces complementary reactions from others, thereby intensifying one's hostile disposition and intensifying the cyclical nature of this relationship. So here we have a little chart. So the hostile person's behavior, if they're hostile, confrontational, defensive, and aggressive, going towards the recipient leads to surprise, avoidance, and defensiveness. So then there's the transactional cycle, which leads to reinforcement of the hostile behavior in the aggressor. So the hostile person's thoughts and feelings, they become angry, mistrustful, and they devalue the person they were hostile towards. So it's a vicious cycle. Now, depression in the heart. Research suggests that a relationship exists between depression and heart disease. One reason for this seems to be that people diagnosed with depression as children have been found to be more likely to be obese, smoke, and physically inactive. Depression may increase the likelihood of living an unhealthy lifestyle and therefore the chances of heart disease. So we have the heart attacks per 1,000, their depression scores, blue women, red men. This graph shows the incidence of heart attacks among men and women by depression score quartile. So you can see men in first, second, third, and fourth quartile, men seem to have more depression and therefore more heart attacks than women. Now, asthma is a chronic disease in which the airways become inflamed and narrowed, leading to physical difficulty breathing. Psychological factors play an important role in asthma. Studies show that some people with asthma will experience asthma-like symptoms if they expect to experience symptoms, so kind of placebo effect. People with asthma report and display a high level of negative emotions, for example, anxiety, and asthma attacks have been linked to periods of high emotionality, and exposure to stressful experiences has been linked to the development of asthma throughout the lifespan. So here we have a nice graph showing asthma, normal airway, asthma symptoms, obviously, doesn't look good. Pretty clear to see. So, going on, well actually, again, I don't want to keep these videos too long, lose y'all's interest, but we're going to stop here for today. In the next video, we will start off at coping styles, so hopefully you guys stick around for that. But hope you enjoyed what we got to go through today of chapter 14. Lost which chapter was for a second. Anyways, my name is Prescott. I'm here at Succinct Psychology, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great day. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.